Look at this. There's Rob. What do you got?
Got a column.
What's it look like?
Well, I wasn't sure what it was going to look like because the only access I had was the front side on the bottom and on the top. And the top looks rotten and the bottom is very clearly rotten. It's not as bad as I thought though.
Oh, that's excellent.
I don't know how well you can see this.
Well, it'll look better when we get it in the light. I think
Sure.
probably lean it against the building.
In the direct sunlight?
Well,
so there we have it. This was the active ant colony, and they had a couple of entrances on the outside in the top, and clearly they had entrances in the back. The trim boards, the door casing, on the door side came to about here, and the casing on the outside came to about here. So there was a good 1.5 inch gap, and they could actually get in and out through the back end.
that's terrific.
Yeah. Now let me tilt it down.
There we have, okay, and
So
there.
that's the top. There was also part of the ant colony here. I think they found it easier to travel up and down the back side of this than to actually create a colony going all the way through the column.
Excellent.
Yep.
That's so cool. They've been busy. All right. Well, wish you luck with that one.
Thank you. Depending on how much material we need to remove, if we're going to be removing anything that's wet, epoxying the inside with a marine grade epoxy, and then install some blocks that run this way that are epoxied in place and maybe fastened in place. And then when I'm ready to install, drill through the face, draw a diagram for documentation purposes, and then actually set screws through the blocks wherever the blocks have to be. And then in other areas, then just drill right through the wood. Because I suspect in here we might not need to remove any material. Or I might not need to remove any material. What are your thoughts on that?
It probably makes sense to think in terms of long counterboard holes
Yep.
that you then put bungs in.
Okay.
That probably the most sensible thing.
Well, what about having wood spanning in this direction?
I don't think there's any benefit to it. But
Well, okay. I don't think it needs many fasteners. If I use the right size fastener, 4 might keep this in place. You know, as long as I've got something to attach it to. You know? And if the freeze box and everything above is fastened tightly and this is on a solid level base, I don't see why we'll need many fasteners.
the only thing to compare this to is whether or not it makes sense to take the exterior trim off. But that's a decision you will make at some point. You aren't there yet. You haven't committed yet. So you've got a plan for right now, and that will hold until the next thing happens. That's all you can do. You are flying by the seat of your pants. No one's done this before.
Okay.
Make it work.
I will.
Cool.